Hello, everyone. If you know me already, hi. I miss you. If you haven't met me before, I am Katie Silverwings. I am a patchwork artist, textile artist, glassblower, and amongst other things. And I am live streaming from my home studio, so meaning my apartment in Farnham in the UK, where I'm studying glassblowing at the University of Creative Arts. And today I am working on a patchwork banner that I started yesterday. This is how far I got my blocks yesterday for what I'm making. And I am going to be ultimately making something that will be one of these sorts of lovely long patchwork blocks. That one is wrapped up a bit right now. So I am currently about to start pressing all of my pieces so that they will sit nice in the seams. And yes, so I have a grand total of 20 blocks like this that I need to make, or blocks in this style. These ones that I'm working on, they'll have 2 more rows of color and white on them. I've actually dyed all of the fabrics myself, so any colored fabric you see me working with is stuff that I have dyed, and the white is just a nice crisp cotton poplin. And I hope that the live stream is working okay for you. I sometimes do not get along well with Facebook's interface for live streaming. Still working out whether I want to work with this interface or not. And as you can see by the brightness of the window behind me, it is sunny in England today. Everyone has to stay in their houses unless they're going out for their one exercise excursion or to get stuff from the shops. But it is a bright and sunny and beautiful day, and I don't even have the lights turned on in here right now. Normally I have my above lights on, but I don't think they really matter all that much when the sunlight is this nice. Although if it starts to get dim later on, I will stop and turn them on. And again, do feel free to leave me comments. I will talk to you. But part of this is so that I feel like I have people in my world. And I am very glad to be able to share part of my day with you. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just pressing these seams over so that from everything that I've sewn, and then I will be pinning the next set of strips onto these and sewing them and repeating that until I get all the banner pieces made. So there's another one of those, and you're just going to hold that for me right there. I have my sketchbook here, and I can show you which pattern I'm actually making. This is where I keep all of my little slips of paper with patterns on them. Let's see. Here we go. So this strip right here is the one I'm working on right now. I'm really excited about it, and I hope that you enjoy watching me make it if you are here watching. Just going to set that out of the way. And before I do anything else, I need to go to this as myself. And yes, I've already shared that, so that should get through. I'm still working out how the whole Facebook page and live streaming and stuff is supposed to work. So if I have a few hiccups here and there along the way, just know that I really do enjoy showing y'all what I'm doing and talking to people if they choose to leave me a comment here or there in the side. And I'm just going to keep doing this live stream thing every day for the foreseeable future, meaning until I'm allowed to go back in the workshops again. But anyway, back to pressing. So because the design that I'm working on involves larger blocks made out of sets of 4 smaller blocks, that means to get the full pattern that I'm trying to make, I need a grand total of 20 of these small blocks. And then I actually have another design that'll have similar blocks in it, but that one is going to have slightly smaller blocks, I think. I haven't decided. I have one design where the diamonds in the center are white and one where they are colored, and I'm going to make both of them, but I haven't decided which one I'm making first yet, so it'll really depend on how all these turn out. And there's the block. I'm just gonna, there we go. Now I'm not floating mouth. Ta-da! I'm still looking into getting a webcam to have so that you can see better what I am doing when I'm cutting and piecing and pressing everything. And there's that one. I'm actually going to move these off of my computer for a bit because they're a bit warm. And I don't want to overheat it, so they can just sit here under my scissors. And there's that block. They're all going to look pretty similar right now. So the next color, once I get all of these pressed, is going to be yellow. I'm very excited about that. And there's another block. And there's that one. I really like when the light is shining on these. Since they're not going to have a quilt backing, it will be kind of like this one's draping. how the seam lines are drawing lines into the different fabrics and really demarcating where the white is. Again, any questions, comments, things you want me to say, do say hello to me. I don't know for sure if this version of the live interface will tell me when my friends pop up and say hi. But in any case, if you say hello to me and tell me who you are, I will wave and say hello back if I see the comment. So yeah, I hope you are all having a good day. Because I am. I've actually gotten a little bit of my written work done, which, considering that aside from doing this patchwork, all of my schoolwork right now is written work or computer work, is a good thing because I have a mountain of things to get ready for my submissions. I'm so glad I have patchwork to do as well, because I would go absolutely mad if I had to spend all day just staring at a computer, editing photos, and putting together documents. That's the whole reason I don't do computer-based things as my main life. I really do enjoy doing things physically out in the world that will still exist if the power goes out. Plus, I get eye strain if I stare at the computer too long. So there's that one. Again, I love how these fabrics look with the light shining through them. Two more. And then I will show you the yellow fabric I'm going to be using today. Ah, looks like I have a comment. So these are the squares I am making today. And let's see. I'm gonna reply to that on here because I don't know if my mother's actually watching this feed or if she's commenting on the post I made yesterday. There we go. So if anyone happens to be watching, hello, and I seem to be getting comments on my other little post that I made on my person account when I shared this, and that's what's going on. Anyway, I am going to continue pressing because I only have 2 more to go before I can get some fabric out. There's that one. Hi, Mom! Look at it looks like my mother is here and gets to see the things that I'm making. You're just in time to see me press the last one of these before I get the yellow fabric out. I'm just going to leave the iron on because I know I'm going to need it in a bit. And there's that. And now I'm going to get my yellow fabric out. So this is the yellow I'm going to use. This is one that I've ice dyed. And I've not used this one yet in any of my projects, and I'm so excited for it. So this has a few different tones of yellow in it. It is an exceptionally big piece of fabric. And oh my goodness, it's so pretty. Just look how pretty this is. I am so proud of this. There's about 2 yards, 2 meters of this. And I'm just going to cut about, I think, 4 strips to start with. Once I'm allowed back in the workshops again, I may actually make some banners the same length as my patchwork ones that are just the ice dye patterns like this, but that are already finished on the edges before I dye them so that they're all ready to go. Just going to finish unfolding this. Observe, I am a yellow ghost. Yes, obligatory ghost moment. So yeah. I absolutely love using ice dyed fabrics or low immersion dyed or just hand dyed fabrics in patchwork. Make me so happy because they always have this quality to them. There's a lot of light and movement in them, and they really remind me of my swirled up glass color. Let's see, do I have one handy? Here we go. So, for example, this is a glass piece that I've made. I'm going to hold it in front of myself so you can really see it. And the swirls in this really kind of frit effect really remind me of this sort of patchwork. So yeah, and also there's another one of my glass pieces that nobody's seen yet. Has kind of a stony quality. I'm just going to set that back down. Well, yes, my house is full of glass. So as I was yesterday, I'm going to measure out my 2.5 inch strips and mark to tear them. I am tearing the fabric instead of cutting it because this is a nice straight weave cotton fabric. It tears really nicely and neatly, and it saves me, it makes nice even strips, and then it saves me a whole bunch of time that I would otherwise spend lining everything up and cutting it precisely. So, ready? So there we have the strip, and I'll bring this up closer to the camera so you can see all the lovely patterns that are in that. And that's part of why I'm using wider strips in this, is so that I can show off these lovely patterns. So there's one strip. I'm going to tear 2 more. Actually, I'll tear 3 more, and I think that'll be enough. And then I will press the strips and make sure they're all nice and wrinkle-free, because this fabric has been sitting folded for quite some time. And there's the edge I was cutting from. There's second strip. And third strip. And fourth strip. So now I'm just going to take and move my lovely big piece of yellow out of the way. I'm going to hold this up a little bit closer to the camera so you can really see all the colors and patterns in it. Ice-dyed fabrics are awesome and make me so happy. And now I'm just going to press these 3 strips and make sure they're nice, and they're nice just like this. So I'm going to make sure these are nice and smooth, and then I will start pinning them to the blocks. So there's one nice, clean, straight pressed strip. And another yellow strip, all nice and pressed. Before I do the next one, I'm going to go open the other window because it's getting warm in here. I don't know whether you can hear them or not, but there are lots of lovely bird noises outside now. Where was I? Ah, yes. Pressing these strips. My arm seems to have an opinion about this. There's one more yellow strip. And last one. Just gonna pull a little bit here. See, I didn't want a solid tone yellow, so I used kind of a golden orangey yellow color with a very bright highlightery yellow color. So they've kind of overlaid each other and made some really nice yellow tones in this. I'm very pleased with them. All right, there we go. Everything has been pressed within an inch of its life now. All I have to do is pin things. So I'm going to move my white strips from yesterday over to the strip box because I will need them later. So this yellow strip that I am now adding to all of these is going to go across the top here where the blue and red strips are. Nice thing with ice-dyed fabric is there is no real right side or wrong side to it, so I can just pin it straight on. All right. Go. I'm just going to cut this strip to match the rest of the block. And there we go. There's the first one pinned and ready to sew. So now I'm just going to pin all the rest of them. And that's going to take me a while. So if you have anything you'd like me to talk about while I pin things, do let me know, because otherwise it's going to be quite quiet while I'm doing this. And there's this one, and I'll hold it up so you can see the nice piece of yellow fabric I'm adding. There's another one. There's this one, and you can see here I'm sticking the pins right in the seams to make sure that they stay nice and straight and flat, so that when I sew, they won't get caught in the wrong direction or anything. I have some massive strings on these, but they'll all get sorted. And another one. Glad I cut more than one strip. I'm almost to the end of this one. And there's that one. And I have to get my pin jar because I've run out of pins in my pin pot. So some of you may have seen this yesterday. This is my little glass piece that I made myself that I use for keeping my pins in when I'm sewing. Ta-da! And there's this one. I do much prefer doing my blocks kind of assembly line style like this, just rather than doing a single block at a time, because it saves me a lot of time, really, and it means that all of my blocks match. All right, so I have a little bit of leftover fabric that's going to go in my little basket of fabric scraps there. And there's that one. It's got a really nice pattern to it. And I still have all of these to sew, or to pin, so that I can then start sewing. I think what's nice about these is that some of these blocks will have darker variations of the same fabric and some will have lighter ones, just because of the way that the ice dye took to certain regions of this fabric. That's actually a really nice one. That one's pressed backwards. I'm going to need to fix that. Oh, it almost looks like it's got a fish. See? It's a fish swimming. There's its tail and its body, and its cute little face, and it's swimming out of, or jumping out of the water or something. And there's that one. And a little piece of fabric for my scrap bag. All the scraps will eventually get made into something as well. That's the fun part about being a patchwork person. And there's that one. Now I just have to repress this one because, as you can see, so I accidentally pressed it where it was going towards the block as opposed to away from the block. So just need to fix that real quick. And just check something on here real quick. Just need to just giving my mom a little note. Just apparently she lost the video and needed to find it again. Anyway, I'm just gonna repress this. So iron on. That's good. She found me again. Hi again, Mother. Just gonna finish pinning this, and then I get to go start sewing them. All right, so there we go. That's the last one, all pinned and ready to sew, which means we get to change angles. Whee! And here we have my good friend Gertrude, the sewing machine. And as soon as I get a drink of water, I am going to start sewing all of these lovely things. In case you can't tell, this was a test piece for my current project. I was practicing picking up patterns in crushed glass to put a pattern onto an object. In this case, it's a tumbler that I actually do use to drink out of, and I like this very much. And I want to make more things like this eventually. I just haven't had the time to do it because my final pieces for my project are not really tumbler shaped. And now, sewing. Just gonna have to move this light a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Actually, that's the problem. I don't have the overhead lights on. One moment. Doesn't help too much, but it's just, there's a light that hits where the sewing machine is, so it helps a little bit. Why that was sitting there. Just gonna check, make sure this is all still broadcasting. And yes, you can all still see me. Yay! Hello, everyone who's watching. Or who's not watching. Hello to you too. Forgive me if I'm being quiet. I'm not trying to be too quiet. It's just I'm enjoying being focused on all this. And the sewing machine does make a nice peaceful sound. Goodness, have I already been on for an hour? It's taken me an hour to get all of these pressed and started sewing them, and I'm still not done, so the quilting patchwork takes more time than people would assume it does, because especially with complicated patterns or just when you're making a lot of blocks, it does take quite a bit of time to get those things made. At the moment I'm having kind of a slow progress on these banners because I'm also having to juggle doing my schoolwork and getting everything ready for assessments because my first deadline is in 3 weeks. We're getting somewhere. Jen! If you're still watching, what do you think of all this? Do tell me. I want to know. All right, all done sewing. Excellent. Now I just need to snip them all apart. So I've got this nice long garland of shiny things, and I'm just going to sit here and snip them. If you have a question for me to answer, this is a good time to ask it while I'm sitting here trying to get this done. I'm going to just turn the light off for a second. All right, so this is a preview of what these blocks look like. So here it is right now. As you can see, it's a rectangle. Eventually, it's going to be a square. So the next piece of fabric that I add will be along this line, and it'll be red. And then I'll have the next two white bits go on, and then it'll have a blue piece and another yellow piece. And then once all the strips are on, it'll be done. But there's the first one. There we go. Now you can see the pile as it grows. Actually, I'm just gonna tilt this down. There we go. All right, I'm back. Small computer error issue just now ended the first half of the stream. So if you were watching and you've come back, hi. If you're just starting watching now, hi again. I'm Katie Silverwings. I am a textile artist and glassblower, and today I am making one of my patchwork banners like you can see up here behind me hanging on the wall. Oh, getting the hang of this thing. So right now I'm just clipping all of these apart so that I can press them. Really like how these are turning out. So if you will give me a moment to switch back to my other camera angle, you can see the sewing machine because I'm sitting here snipping. I find that I do have some trouble with the Facebook streaming platform regularly, actually, since I've started doing these live stream bits, because the internet connection in my house is not necessarily the best, and the interface doesn't really like me all that much. So today you're getting 2 shorter videos, and hopefully they will both work and actually broadcast, and hopefully some people will come and say hello in a bit so that I don't feel like absolutely no one is watching me do this. But even if nobody ever does, I'm just excited to be able to share what I'm doing with other people. And it gives me something to do and a way to keep my focus and motivation for this project going, because I am stuck in my house, as I am sure a lot of you are stuck in your houses at the moment. Not going to go further into the topic of the world right now, but one of the things that I have to make sure of with all of the different aspects of my university work that I have to do, or with my creative projects, which at the moment are all part of my university work, is that I stay motivated and keep actually working on them. And there's the last one. There are 20 of these blocks that I'm working on, so every stage takes a bit of time. And yeah, just takes time. I'm gonna just get a sip of water here, and then I'm going to go back over to the ironing board and press all of these open. So in order to do that, so you can see me, I need to turn the camera around. I'm sorry I can't get you a better angle of the ironing board. I'm still working out if I can get a webcam to do that or not. But for now, it's just going to be me standing here. And you can see my fabric in the background back over here. Just going to tilt this up a bit. As you can see, it's still a beautiful sunny day in Farnham. And observe strings. I have a basket to catch those. So I'm just going to lay these all right here and turn on my iron. And then I'm going to press them out. Pressing is one of the important bits of patchwork, even though it takes an age to do, especially when you've got a lot of blocks like this that you're doing. And there we go. So that's the first block that has this yellow stripe on it. I'll hold it up so you can see. I really like how these are turning out. And you can kind of see how it's starting to be half in colors and half in white. And when they're all put together, it's going to make a really nice design. So I will leave that laying here. Put my scissors back up on the wall for a moment. And there's another block. I really like this yellow fabric. Oh my goodness, it is so pretty. And there we have another one. They're slowly taking shape. What do you think? Do leave me a comment if you like these. I'm always looking for feedback on what I'm doing. And there's another one. you hear some weird sounds in the background, that is my neighbors out in their garden because the window's open so sound travels. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but and there's another block. What do you think? I like it. I really like how these are coming together with the white and the colors. Again, if you're watching it, hi Cheyenne. So it does tell me when my friends join, which is always nice, so I can say hello to you specifically. Same blocks as yesterday, but today they're getting a yellow stripe, and there is the latest one with the yellow stripe. Very proud of these. And there's another one. And another one. I have to say, I'm not normally somebody who's much for the really bright primary colors. Normally, if I'm making things, picking things out, I always gravitate towards browns and greens and neutrals. Even when I'm making glass, a lot of my stuff, my first year and a half of doing this, was all the browns and greens, because brown glass and green glass is so pretty. But for this project, I really like how these bright colors are coming together. And heaven knows the world needs bright colors right now. And there's that one. And there's this one. There's that fish again. And one more. And there we go. So now I'm going to leave my iron off because I need to tear my red strips. Exciting. So, where's the red I was using? Ah, there it is, under the blue. So, this is the red fabric I'm using today. Yes, I know it kind of looks like blood spatters, but I do really like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this red again. So, well, let's see. Hopefully I should have enough of this. Actually, I think I'm going to use a different red, so I have the three colors, but actually using different fabrics for them. So instead, I'm going to use this red. And this has a little bit of pink to it, but it's a bit more saturated red. What do you think? I really like this fabric. I just love ice dyeing fabric so much. The next time I do ice dye stuff, I will have to remember to film myself so that y'all can see what it is that I do with that. But I won't be doing that in my house because getting ice involves going outside to the store, and I don't know when I'll be doing that again. And I don't have any fabric to dye yet at the moment because I need all of my white for patchwork. So now I'm going to tear a strip of fabric off of this. Tearing instead of cutting because with this particular grain of fabric, the strips come out nice and neat and straight, and I don't have to spend forever lining them up. So I will just pull that to straighten it a bit, and then I will go through and press these before I start pinning them. So my first log cabin quilt art piece, which hangs in my mother's house, is one that I made out of a bed sheet that I ice dyed. So the background of it is recycled fabric that's been livened up with some dye. And while that is something I would like to do again, I could not find a good, even though there's lots of charity shops here, I did not have the time or the ability to go through and find 100% cotton bed sheets that I could over dye because I prefer working with only cotton. It makes it a lot easier when I'm going through and dyeing things or pressing things or just about anything, so that I know it'll wash and wear and work exactly the same. Plus, you know, I grew up on a cotton farm, so I am quite partial to cotton. And as a glass blower, I always wear cotton jeans and shirt in the hot shop when I'm working, because cotton fabric and other natural fabrics do not melt like some of the synthetic fabrics do if they get hot or, you know, something burns them. Anyway, so I'm going to tear another strip, one more strip of this, so I'll have 4 of them. And I will probably end up needing to tear more strips than that, just because there's a lot of distance that these have to cover. There we go. So I'm going to set this over with my other fabric for now. And just put these things away. And I'm going to just really quickly press these strips and make sure that they're all nice and neat. And then I will go through and start pinning them to the blocks. So if anyone has questions, comments, things you want me to talk about, do put it in the comment section. If I don't see it and answer in this video, I will make a note of it and I will answer on my next live stream. But I can see that people are watching, which means I should be able to see your comments if you leave one. So there's the first strip. Hi, Denise. So first strip of nice cotton fabric here. And now I'm just going to press the other 2, and then I'll get started pinning. And there's the second strip. Again, I really like these fabrics that I've ice dyed. They just have such personality. And I'm glad I'm getting to finally make them into something. And there's another strip, all nice and pressed. I really need to get all the strings off of my floor. My carpet is full of strings now. Don't worry, I will clean it. All right, so there's the last of the red strips that I've made. Now I'm going to turn my iron off and start pinning. So and this strip of red is going to go across here. So there's that, all pinned and ready to go. Set that up here and continue pinning the other 19 blocks. Again, I'm making sure that I'm pinning things so that the seams will sew straight, and I won't end up with any places where a seam is sewn one way and one end and the other way and the other, because then it'll wrinkle when I press it. And there's that one. Some lovely patterns in this fabric. I'm so glad I decided to use the larger strips because they do show off the patterning a lot better. Let's see. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a nicer side to use. And there's another one. Again, I will gladly talk to you if you leave me comments or anything like that, but otherwise I'm probably just going to be mostly quiet for this video, pinning things. And there's another one of these, and I'm just going to make sure that that ping is not something important, which means I have to move these off my trackpad. All right, I will deal with that in a bit. I need to keep sewing. I did. All of the fabric, I'm answering your question, Denise. All of the fabric that I'm using for this project is stuff that I've dyed myself. So everything you see in the background over here is fabric that I've dyed. I started with 100% cotton poplin in white, and I've ice dyed it, tie dyed it in different ways to get the nice patterns in it. So yeah, that's it's been a fun part of the project going through and dyeing everything, so that I can have the bright primary colors that I want for everything. But I also wanted to have fabrics that were mine as opposed to getting commercial fabrics and working with them. Ah, thank you. I'm glad you like it. All right, so there's a little bit of the fabric left over, and there's the next piece for this block. The cool thing with having dyed the fabrics myself and using the ice dye methods and different things is that I've ended up with these really interesting patterns that I wouldn't have gotten in a commercial fabric unless it was one that was dyed in a similar way. So let's see, which end do I want to start from? I think this one. So the whole idea with this, yes, naturally. I did a lot of testing of different kinds of cotton fabric last term when I first started this project so that my professors could see things. But it is very important. It was very important to me that I was going to use cotton fabric for this because, well, first of all, it's the best for the kind of patchwork I'm doing. And also, you know, I spent my entire childhood and such helping out on the farm and different things. So, I mean, I would love to do this kind of stuff with the glass and with the patchwork, specifically back in cotton country where I can celebrate things. So I just love this. Actually, if you look in the background right over here, I do have a tiny little stock of cotton bolls that somebody gave me a few years ago that just kind of live in my house and make me happy. But and there's the block I'm pinning now. And yes, home away from home. And that's part of why I decided to do the patchwork as part of my project with all the glass and different things, was that it's kind of celebrating my roots as an artist and as a person. Because I mean, I grew up learning to do patchwork and sewing and hanging out with farmers, and the patchwork is such a big part of the culture from home. And I mean, I actually got my old database out from when I was at McMurray, studying patchwork and quilting, and the whole project I did where I dug through everyone's linen closets who would let me take pictures of their quilts. And that's all been a big part of this. So yeah. And there's this one. This red fabric has some really nice pieces in it. I'm really happy with how the patterns ended up happening in the dye and in just how they're working the fabric. I want to do, after I can get back in the workshops again, I do want to make some long panels that are just the dyed fabric as well to hang with my patterned ones. So it'll be nice to see how it all turns out. And it's all going to be my final body of work that I was working towards and that I'm still working on, is a celebration of patchwork through glass and fabric. And it's going to be hopefully someday displayed as an installation with long patchwork banners and glass pieces. And I'm making it all as components that I can easily pack and carry from place to place. And there's another red one. This one has some really nice faceted patterns almost. So. And there's my little bit of fabric to go in the scrap bin. And there's the bit of fabric that's on this piece. Oh my goodness, I love the tones in that one. Now, this is why I tore several strips. So I'm going to start with this end. There's that one. Pressing and pinning things actually takes longer than sewing them because I have to go through and make sure everything is nice and even and straight. And then when it's pinned, it has to be pinned accurately or the seams will not go on correctly. And then I will end up with wonky blocks, which I don't particularly want for this project. So there's another one. Sounds like something is trying to get my attention or get somebody's attention. I'm in a group chat with them. I don't know. I'll check it once I finish pinning this just briefly to make sure it's nothing super urgent requiring my attention, which I have a feeling it is not, for it is seldom that. Oh, there's that. And there's this. Yeah. And I can just hang on to that for now. All right, this should be enough for these last few. I hope it is. If not, I'll have to cut and press another strip. my classmates have a group chat in which we keep in contact about things, and I'm pretty sure that's what all the pinging is about, because that's what it looked like there were notifications from, and I can read those later. Because right now I am getting stuff done and I don't want to stop. And I type slow. Or at least I type slow on my phone. I type relatively fast on the computer. There's another one. And there's this one. And there's some more. I'm trying to show you all the variations in color and pattern this fabric has in it because it's just so beautiful. If I do say so myself, I am proud of it since I dyed it. But all right, there's that one. And one more. So let's just hope that this piece of fabric is long enough. And it is just barely long enough. Oh my goodness. That's so nice when that happens. Yep. Just gonna turn that little bit off. That can go down into this bag. All right, so there's the last one, all pinned and ready to go. And I'm just going to turn the camera around and I'm going to sew these. Adjust that a little bit. There we go. And now I'm just going to move my stack of fabric down here for one thing. So I'm just going to sew all of these and let's see how they turn out. Definitely an upper arm workout, although only for the one side. Yeah, see, the weird thing about the comment with measuring my forearms, the weird thing is when I'm doing the glass blowing, all of the weight is always in my left arm because my right hand is for tools and my left hand is for controlling the glass. So so it's kind of evening out a little bit there. This one is turning this and using tools, and this one is doing some fine work, but mainly lifting heavy glass. So my final pieces for this project, once I finally get to make them, are when I have made samples of them. They're very heavy. I can show you one actually if you haven't seen them before. So this is just taking a break from sewing for a bit. This is one of the actually now final pieces for my project, and it weighs more than it looks like it does. So the bottom from here down is solid glass. It's about 5 pounds or so, and when I'm working on these, I am having to it's on the end of a stick like this, and it's flopping around because parts of it are hot. So this hand is used to lifting weights, and this one is used to turning things. So you can see some of that same sort of pattern actually is what I'm making today down in this. Let's see if I can turn it so you can see the colors. There we go. And then there's the reflection in the bubble. Oh my goodness, it is so heavy. And my goal was to actually make bigger ones at some point. But again, I will have to have help with that, because even with this one, I had to have somebody helping me turn the iron at certain points because it was just so much weight, and I'm still getting used to doing that. And I'm going to be out of practice when I finally get back in the studios because, you know, haven't been in a glass blowing studio for a week and a half now. Actually, almost 2 weeks now. Yikes. But this is what's going to be going with the patchwork banners. And hopefully I will be getting to make some more of them eventually, because I have a lot of these made and ready to become the patterns in the bottom of these. So, and as you can see, this is the same kind of pattern as what I'm making with the fabric right now. It's just that this one is with the colors in a different sequence. If I hold it up to the light, maybe you can see that there's some transparent colors in there. But yeah, so just gonna set this back over where it'll be safe. And now to go back to sewing. See if I can. Yeah, there we go. I had to move something so that the camera would stop shaking. if you're still watching. I do hope that this is interesting to you because I am just going to continue sitting here and sewing these. Probably for another half an hour or so, and then I'm going to go get something to eat. But it is an absolutely beautiful day outside here. I don't know what is going on with the weather in England. For some reason, because I guess it's because everybody's inside their houses and can't enjoy the nice weather. It has been such nice weather the last 2 weeks. It's amazing. I really need to just see if I can go out to the park and climb a tree or something. Last one. Then I can go press all of these. And then we can see how they turned out. Oh dear, someone is calling me. And I am ending the stream early because that is my brother and I barely ever get to see him. So bye everybody. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.